It's kind of an interesting story of how my night started out. I ended up going into the wrong theater while I was waiting for this movie to begin, and I got there about half an hour early, so I didn't actually end up missing any of this actual film. But I sat in the wrong theater for about half an hour, and I saw just a bunch of teenagers and a bunch of cosplayers just coming into the theater, and I thought that was very strange for this kind of movie, which I didn't really think would draw this kind of a crowd. And then the film started, and it was not Bad Moms, and it was some sort of Rooster Teeth thing, which I did not have any familiarity with. So I bolted out of there so fast and found the right theater and got there right in time. So, interesting start to my night. Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell, and this is once again coming from my apartment. Now today we are going to be talking about the film Bad Moms. Now this is not a review I was expecting to do yet. I was expecting to do this one on Friday after I saw Jason Bourne on Thursday, so tomorrow, and I noticed that my theater was doing an early showing, and I have a Stubbs card, so I got to see this movie early. So this is the review. Bad Moms stars Mila Kunis in the lead role. She is a mom who's extremely overworked and extremely underappreciated, and she just does so many things. She helps out her kids with homework and projects, and she has a really stressful job which does not appreciate her work, and just a bunch of other things going on. And the person who is not helping things too much in her life is Christina Applegate's character. She is the head of the PTA and pretty much a bitch, and she is the main antagonist of this film. And they end up clashing, and we have Mila Kunis versus Christina Applegate in trying to eventually run for president of the PTA. And we have our movie. Eventually, very early in the film, Mila Kunis' character, she decides, hey, I'm done trying to be perfect and try to be a perfect mom, so she pretty much just kind of quits being the perfect mom. And it's kind of an interesting transformation to see, because you see her start out as this very much perfectionist, again, like I said, and then she just kind of goes with the flow, pretty much, and I actually prefer that version because it just made more sense, I thought. I'm not a parent, so I have no real idea of what it is to raise a kid, but in my humble opinion, it seems like that would be the smarter method to go with, but again, no real experience, so I'll take that as you will. Along the way, she meets two other moms. You got Kristen Bell as a stay-at-home mom who is just very overwhelmed with 4 young kids, and so she is just very stressed out in her life, and she has kind of a controlling husband. And then we also have Catherine Hahn, who is kind of this mom who doesn't really care a lot about how she acts, and she is more the bad mom that Mila Kunis and Kristen Bell eventually turn into, per se. And it's just a really fun chemistry with all these characters because they all have their own unique personalities, and just seeing them all come together, it's just really fun to see, especially when they first meet and get together at a bar. It's just a really fun chemistry to witness. Mila Kunis' kids, not her actual kids obviously, but the kids who play her kids in the movie, they actually did quite good, and they're the main people that we saw in regards to children. I thought they did really good in the movie. I had no real issues with their acting, and I thought that they added some humor to their scenes. That's another thing which is really good about this film, is that it's funny. It's a comedy, it's an R-rated raunchy comedy, so it needs to be funny, and it's quite hilarious at times. I found myself laughing a lot in this movie, a lot more than I was expecting to, honestly. And yeah, I really enjoyed the comedy in this film. It provided it really, really well, and I thought it just worked really neatly. The main issue that I have with this film is a few things. It is a little bit long, I felt like. It kind of started to drag on after about an hour, or a little less than an hour, I felt like. But part of that is because there's so much that it tries to cram into the plot that it can't really end up focusing on anything to a significant degree until about the last act of the film, where it kind of focuses more on the PTA election. And that's where I felt like the film kind of ended up suffering, because we have Mila Kunis' job, her life, doing that. We have her conflict with her husband, and we have her trying to reignite her love life, and we have just a bunch of these side plots which are all trying to be part of this film, and they just ultimately don't really get the justice that they really need to get as a result in this movie. I also feel like Christina Applegate's character was extremely one-dimensional until about the last 10 minutes of this movie, when we finally got to see some meat to her character, and we got to see some backstory and flesh her out a little bit. And it was just a little bit disappointing. I wish we could have seen that side of her a little bit sooner, like halfway through the movie, like get a better idea of the character so that there is some kind of a general sympathy for both sides of this conflict. But she just stayed the villain for about 90% of this film. It was just a little bit frustrating that we didn't really get to see the other side of her a lot sooner. The ending credits are actually quite neat as well because they bring in the mothers of the main actresses of this film, and I thought that they were really, really cool and funny moments because they just had their moms talking about the actresses as kids and things that they did. And I thought it was a really cool addition to the film. But guys, while Bad Moms does have its issues in regards to its plot, trying to just do so much at one time and it doesn't really succeed at any of it until the very last act, it was still a fun time watching this movie. I enjoyed it. I found the performances very good. I thought the chemistry between the main actresses was very, very realistic and very fun to watch. And I just liked the transformation that it showed for these women, just from the beginning of the film to the end of the film, kind of finding their self-confidence, figuring out who they want to be as moms and as people. And I ended up actually quite enjoying this film despite its issues. So those are my thoughts on Bad Moms. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe once again if you choose. I'd appreciate it immensely. And as always, my people, my name is Nick Pell. And once again, keep on watching.